Welcome back, Truth Seeker. April 11th, 2019. We don't have NBA today. We got a few hockey games. What we're going to go hard on is baseball. I think it might be a great day for baseball. The date numerology screams baseball. We got big baseball numbers right here, 54, 27, 18. So we might be able to find some really strong riddles. Before we get into today's games, let's do a little review. And solid start for Tiger. Let's keep it going there. But yesterday was a pretty good day with the picks. Last day of the NBA regular season. We laid off the Pacers-Hawks game, but I do want to point out that the Pacers did get the 48th win in Atlanta. And we've talked about this situation before when you have a tight riddle. If there's a number on the board that corresponds with the city that the game's in, that's usually the way it goes. Not always, but usually. So it's not a surprise that the Pacers got their 48th in Atlanta. Hawks did get their 53rd loss on the 53 date. But the riddles were both ways, so I didn't think it was worth the risk. Like the Nets to beat the Heat. Again, stay at 39 wins in New York. Miami Heat 43. Made perfect sense. Nets equals 23. They got their 23rd win of the season. Magic did beat the Hornets. We like that as well. Hornets stayed at 39 wins. Charlotte's 39. Both teams became 10-6 in the division. Charlotte, North Carolina, 106. Pistons got the Knicks. We expected that as well. Pistons equals 41. Knicks 41. So what a perfect team to finish 41-41 against. The Knicks do finish the season with 17 wins on the 17-date numerology, which we had pegged for over half the season. You know, that's the riddle was Zion. Zion in NBA, 17. Bulls 76ers. I thought the Bulls had a shot to win here. 76ers weren't playing for anything. That game didn't come through. Thought we might see the 23-59 in tribute to Jordan, but wasn't so. There wasn't much to go off of in that game. Warriors did lose to the Grizzlies as expected. 57, symbolic number, NBA Finals number. They picked up their 25th loss against the Grizzlies. Make sure you have that in your notebook for next season. Grizzlies in 25. It is like almost a lock every time. There weren't many times that the 25 didn't land with the Grizzlies games. And then, the Grizzlies stayed at 49 against the Warriors. The Thunder Bucks I ended up backing off of, which was a good thing because I was favoring the Bucks to win, but I said, oh, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe they're not going to have the Thunder be the 8th seed. So we did see that Milwaukee, WI, like I'd write the city on an envelope, was 60. That was the one connection to 60. Bucks still finished with the best record in the NBA this year. I guess Oklahoma City Thunder does have that gematria of 137 with the exceptions of the 33rd prime. So Spurs beat the Mavericks as expected. Dallas finishes the season with 49 wins, 49 losses, excuse me, and stayed on 33 wins against the Spurs. Spurs 33. Nuggets beat the Timberwolves as expected. Timberwolves picked up their 30th away loss and 30th conference loss. Nuggets 30. Clippers beat the Jazz as expected. Utah finishes with 50 wins. Utah 50. Utah Jazz 32. Clippers got that 26th win on the 26th date as well. And the Blazers won also. 53 date numerology. Portland 53. Trailblazers 53. Kings pick up the 43rd loss. Blazers 43 plus the 26th loss on the 26th date. So, I mean, it was a great day in the NBA. I mean, we got out of the games that we made picks on, we only got one wrong, and we got a lot right. So it was just this Bulls 76ers game. Everything else was good. And so that was there. In the MLB, there was two games that I really liked yesterday. It was the A's and the Mariners, and I know they came through. Last night when I was doing my radio show, some guy was spamming that he used my picks and went 0-6 yesterday. So I was like, wow, the picks were that bad. And then I looked and I was like, okay, he was obviously trolling. There's no way you went 0-6 off my picks yesterday. You should have probably gone 6-0. But we really like the Athletics to win. They're one game away from doing what we predicted before the series started, and that was making the Orioles 5-8 because Baltimore's 58, Oakland's 58. The Nationals became 6-5 against Philadelphia in Philadelphia. Philadelphia's 65. So, and again, Bryce Harper 65. We talked about that yesterday. I didn't pick that game because we could have made a little bit of a riddle either way, but that 65 thing was screaming. Like I said, Philadelphia established on the day, leaving 65 days left in the year. Philadelphia 65, Bryce Harper 65. So I'm not surprised about that. Yankees did fall to 3-3 against the Astros. I ended up backing off that game too because I was like, oh man, they can become 3-3. New York 33. But this was the game that didn't come through. I thought the Cubs would get it done against the Pirates yesterday. I thought they'd become 4-7. Pirates equals 47. Chicago Cubs 55. But it wasn't so. But the games that I really liked yesterday were the Mariners and the A's. I was emphatic about that. Mariners and A's got it done. Kansas City equals 122. Seattle on the 122nd meridian. They begin the season 12-2. That's a great sign for the Mariners. That's symbolic. So that's a big deal. And then in the NHL, we had some NHL playoff games yesterday. Let's see here. Okay, so the Lightning did pick up their 17th loss of the season. That was the first thing I noticed. But then we look at the playoff records and saw that the Blue Jackets could get their 17th all-time playoff loss, and I figured that was more likely. Wasn't so. So that would have been a nice payout, man. That was the initial thought. But then when I saw these 17 playoff losses, I said, okay, that's probably where it's at. The Lightning are not going to be able to sweep the Blue Jackets. I started to think that maybe that's what would happen because the Blue Jackets were at 47 wins on the season. Columbus is 47. Tampa Bay is 47. But I do understand why the Lightning lost. 17th loss of the season. Islanders beat the Penguins. I'm expecting them to win that series. We'll see. We did like the Blues to upset the Jets. The Jets got their 17th playoff loss on the 17 date. I wasn't crazy about any of these other games, but I remember there was something that we saw in the Stars maybe getting the better of the Predators last night, but the Predators still winning the series. There was something about that game last night. It was something with the win-loss records or the date numerology. But I thought maybe the two teams going for the 17th playoff loss would come through. The Jets did, and instead of the Blue Jackets, again, the Lightning got the 17th loss of the season. So because MLB games are probably already getting going, let's see how many of these games we can scoop up here. So this game's about to start in 2 minutes. Maybe we'll just skip ahead a little bit. God, all these early starts. Is anyone even at these games? I mean, how many people can go to a baseball game in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week? I don't know if we should just skip the morning games. Maybe just skip these games and just start right here. That's not that many games. Here, we can look real quick. We can look just for you guys who bet active in the game. I'm expecting the Athletics will come back and win this one for the 5-8 thing. Okay. Indians, Tigers. Let's see. I'm pretty sure NRB had the Charlotte Hornets and the Knicks and some other teams yesterday too. So I still don't know about this NRB guy. I've seen him put out some good information, but you know, I think it was also Andrew Park the other day who was repping NRB and speaking misinformation. So I'm weary of that guy. All right, let's see. Let's see the streaks that our teams are on right here. The Royals have lost 9 straight. Wow. That's interesting that the Royals have lost 9 straight. Again, when you add 1 through 9, 45, big major league number. Mariners have won 5 straight. It's the 11th, 11 the 5th prime. Wonder if the Royals, let's see who they're playing today. I don't want to say NRB's a clown. I've seen him put in some good information, but I'm just a little bit weary that he's got himself here saying like his picks are better, and I don't even know where he came from. I don't know who he is. He's not anybody who's ever called me on the phone or tried to help with the cause. And then he's got this guy in the chat, Andrew Park, as his advertising agent, also spouting out false information. So anyway, Indians, Tigers. Let's see. That's not what I want. Pro football. No, that's not right. There we go. This is what I want. Okay. So again, today's date numerology for baseball, 54 like baseball, 18 like baseball, and the most pure ciphers. If you use the rule for S, baseball is also 27s. So is MLB. What's up, caller?
What's going on, Zach? One thing on this Detroit-Cleveland Indians game, they play Minnesota Twins next, and Twins equals 85. So I was thinking Detroit lose, go to 8 and
5. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good thought to look at who's the next series to go into. Like, yeah, that's a good thought. All right, we'll take a peek at that.
Yep.
All right.
And another thing, that division did that yesterday with all the wins and one. I think everybody lost and one team won. Just to let you know.
That was the Tigers division.
Let me check. I'm not sure if it was the Tigers division. Let me check 1 sec. And you know how you did the gematria for the basketball teams and are you going to do that for the baseball, or you already did it?
Oh, you mean put out the list for each team?
Yeah, like you did, so we can upload it.
Yeah,
so I won't have to
I can do that again. The only problem with that list is it didn't use the exceptions. And I'm thinking, man, maybe I should have the exceptions on there because they're pretty important. So, yeah, I can do that again.
Okay, and yeah, the Detroit, that division did it. Detroit won and everybody else lost.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if there's like a rotation to how it goes. If it's like cycling through divisions, the way that plays out, because it's just like, I mean,
yeah, it's a random thought, but damn, if we could just pinpoint it, it'd be great because it seems like it's happening every day now. This 3 straight days.
Right.
So like,
right.
And then look how I look at it. It was the Detroit division, so you knew the Roy. Like your favorite pick yesterday was the 122. So if you would have just took that whole division, if you would have just picked that team to win and everybody lost, because the Warriors was already on the losing streak. You see what I'm saying? And then that game, it was an early game that day. They gave Cleveland that loss. So that was already that one W, and you could have just filled in the blank with L's. You see what I'm saying?
Well, we'd have to be right, though, assuming that that's the division where that pattern's going to happen.
Right. But like I said, with you having a strong pick on the Mariners that day, and Cleveland and Detroit game already came on early. So that was one game out the way. Then you really liked the Mariners. You see what I'm saying? So that was that's all I'm saying. We could have maybe almost kind of, picked the rest of the teams to lose that division.
Sure, I see what you're saying, but we'd still be making an assumption that we were picking the right division where that was going to be the pattern.
Right. It's tricky, but just a thought, man. Like I said, just a thought. And now, like I said, Detroit equals 85, so I believe they lose today.
Well, now that we're watching this, though, we might be able to see how it cycles. It might be a pattern that goes through the league. Like this day, it's this division that's going to happen. And then we might notice throughout the year that, okay, when this division does that, the next day this division does that. So that's what we got to figure out if it's that way.
Right. I got you.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
Thank you. Yeah, he's making a great observation that pattern is happening. We just got to figure out what the cycle of it is so we know on the day, like, okay, this is the day that one team, and then, the strategy would be to just bet on all those teams going one way for the day because, if you miss on one of them, it's not a big deal, but okay. So anyway, Indians, Tigers, we got Turnbull and Santana on the mound. Is the right guy? So he doesn't have a lot of stats. It's hard to go off of. Guess we can see how it lines up with his birthday. September 18th. $205 days or a span of 206. Who was the Indians pitcher? Missed who the Indians pitcher was. Bieber. Okay. So he comes in 11-5. That's interesting. On the 11th. See how things line up for him real quick. May 31st. 45 weeks after his birthday, big major league number there. You know what, you guys? I think once we get into I'll ask you. I'll do a survey after this video. Maybe we're gonna need to starting this thing earlier now that we're getting into baseball season with so many early starts. Maybe we're gonna have to start an hour earlier. So I'll do a survey how you guys feel about that. Starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. With baseball becoming the focus here. Because I don't like starting this with the games underway and stuff. Baseball's got too many games going early. Hold on. Caller was saying that the Tigers play the Twins next. Minnesota Twins 84. I see. Twins is 85. Twins is 85. So that's what he was saying. Maybe they go into the Twins series with an 8-5 record, which has some rhyme and reason to it. That would make the Tigers 4-2 at home. Tigers is 33 in the most pure cipher and 42 with the, if you use the rule for S. Let me get the exceptions up here. Indians. Indians play the Royals tomorrow. Royals. Kansas City Royals. Caller?
Yeah, that's right. One more thing. If Cleveland wins, they 3-3. Like
right.
Cleveland is the 33, and then Tigers is 33. The same thing you call with New York with the 3-3.
Right. You got an overlap number there. Yep, that's absolutely correct.
There you go. Yep, that's all I wanted to call you about.
Yeah, you're making great observations. I appreciate it, man. All right, thanks. Yeah, like he's saying right here, the overlap number in Cleveland's 33 and Tigers is 33. So very possible, and then that would have the Tigers going into the Twins series 8-5. So he's probably right about that. Indians putting up a run right away. That's a good sign. A lot of game left, though. Dodgers and Cardinals. Let's see here. I know St. Louis has that Gematria 43, and I see both teams could become 4-3. So that's the first thing jumping out here. St. Louis 43. Let's see. Cardinals. Dodgers. The only number really jumping out at me is that 43. Now, I do see that the starting pitcher for St. Louis is going for his 54th win, though. That's very interesting because, again, that's the big baseball number, and today has the 54 day. So it's hard to overlook that. Let's see his date of birth. What's up, caller?
Hey, what's up, man? Sorry to interrupt you during the live stream, but I was just checking out the NCAA college hockey tournament, the Frozen Four. There might be a riddle with that going towards with the NHL hockey season. The 4 teams that are playing, it's Massachusetts, Denver, Province, and another team. And it began in October, and it ends this weekend. And I think there are 16 teams in it.
Okay, yeah, we've seen the links with college and pro before, so maybe we should look at that in light of the Stanley Cup. What do they call it? The Frozen Four?
Yeah, it's called a Frozen Four. I think the Frozen Four has a gematria of 144. Last time I checked.
Well, I wouldn't use the gematria because it's going to have the same gematria every year. So
yeah.
Okay, there could be a clue there. That's good. That's a good thought.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
All right. I appreciate it, man.
For live stream.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. See you. Okay. Well, that's something we can look at here after we do the baseball games, but yeah, maybe there's a clue in there. So. All right, I was looking at this picture and just seeing how things line up with his birthday. 81 days to his upcoming birthday. About the Dodgers pitcher here, Buehler. Something else we should really be considering is the jersey numbers these guys wear, because oftentimes that's a big clue too. We use that every game when we were decoding the wild card games. The jersey numbers of these pitchers. Well, I see right there that Walker Buehler, if he gets a win, his record be 11-5. Those prime numbers. Today is the 11th, so both pitchers have an interesting win alignment. That makes that tricky. But the one guy is going for 54 on the 54 day. That's the baseball number. So, yeah, this one's a little tight because the 54 worries me, but the records would be perfect if the Dodgers won in St. Louis, because St. Louis is 43. So, Dodgers, they play the Brewers next. Let's think about that. Is there a clue with the Brewers? Brewers. About the Cardinals. Reds next. Yeah, that one's tight because of the pitchers. I mean, the record spells Dodgers, but just the fact that that pitcher is going for his 54th win. If you're betting real time, if this pitcher for the Cardinals gets pulled and he has no chance at a win, then I would assume it's the Dodgers. But just the fact that he could get his 54th win today, it makes that tough to call. All right, Mariners. What kind of win streak are the Mariners on? They lost. We saw the Royals are on a 9-game losing streak. Big baseball number. Mariners on a 5-game winning streak. And 11, the 5th prime. The Royals lost. They would be 2-7 at home, and Royals is 27. Let's see. Oh, you know what is really weird, you guys? I was in the gym this morning, and I was like, I wonder if the Mariners will play the Astros next. And I honestly didn't know until I looked right now. And the reason that I was having that thought is because who's been in the American League World Series? Who's been in the World Series for the American League the last few years? the Red Sox, the Astros, and the Indians, but the Royals the year before that. So they're starting their season outside of the Athletic Series in Japan, which was for a different riddle. But they're playing these teams that have all been World Series teams recently. When do they play the Indians? Oh my God. They play the Indians next? You got it. You can't tell me that's not weird. That they're playing all of the American League World Series teams in the last 4 years. Red Sox, Astros, Indians, Royals. Huh. That was the thought I had in the gym this morning. I was like, I wonder if they play the Astros next. There it is. And then the Indians. I can't believe it. So I'll tell you what, man. Joe in Arizona, who got the 500 to 1 odds, he could be a real happy camper later this year. The thing is, now that we're at this 12-2 record with today's game, I mean, that's the real symbolism right there, because Kansas City's 122, Seattle's on the 122nd meridian, so I don't see any great symbolism, in a 13-2 record or a 12-3 record. I do know that Royals is 27. We do have the 27 date numerology, so that's the one thing standing out here. Is there anything that makes sense with playing the Astros next, going into the Astros series? Astros have that 43 connection like Mariners. It's the Mariners' 43rd season. Maybe the no. Well, if the Mariners won today and they beat the Astros tomorrow, they'd get their 14th win of the season to start the series. 43 is the 14th prime. Astros. Houston, Texas. Mariners. All right, let's just look at who's on the mound today. Big leak. He's going for his 96th win or his 88th loss. You can always get a no decision. With the Mariners, 15 wins, 11 losses. He could stay at 11 on the 11th. Let's see here. Today's 150 days after his birthday, or his 151st day of his age. You know what that means? That means to his upcoming birthday, if I'm not mistaken, it's 216 days. That doesn't matter, though, actually. For a second, I was thinking he was playing Cleveland. All right, what about the Royals pitcher? Jay Lopez. What's his first name? Jorge. That's not the... Well, maybe that is the right guy. Is that him? No, I don't think that was the right guy. All right, let's see. He's 3-7. Interesting stats. If he got the win, he'd be 4-7. Seattle from the 47th parallel. Jorge Lopez birthday. There we go. February 10th. That's the 41st day of the year. So 60 days. Is that right? So 60 days, or his 61st day of his age. 61's the 18th prime. We got the 18 date numerology, baseball 18. Athletics up on the Orioles. Yeah, the only thing I can say about this Mariners game is that if they did win today, it would give them a chance to get that 14th win to start the series against the Astros. And we saw how Astros and Mariners both have the 43 connection. Again, it's the Mariners' 43rd season, which is why I like them this year. Does that series start tomorrow? Tomorrow. So tomorrow's date numerology will be 55, 28. Oh, 19 tomorrow. Seattle 19. That's something to think about. Seattle 19. Why is that not coming up? There we go. I changed the team. Oh my God. Why does this pull up sometimes and other times it doesn't? Okay. There we go. I need to just bookmark this page. All right. I want to see what the Mariners' record is against the Astros. It's interesting that they've played the Astros 123 times. If they lost today, they'd be 12-3. Their next win against the Astros is their 54th. It's going to be a day off the mark. That series is in Houston, right? Oh, no, it's at home. It's at home. Okay. I think that's a good sign that it's at home on the 19 date, Seattle 19. About the Royals. This game's in Kansas City, right? Yeah. Mariners are 105 and 126 on the road. Royals took the lead, huh? Yeah, it's tough. I'm just thinking about how the Mariners, they could win 2 games against the Astros and get the 14th win for the symbolism. It doesn't look like there's going to be a 43 date numerology or anything while the series is going on, but see what the name of their T-Mobile Park when they return. Oh yeah, their new stadium name even equals 122 for this year. T-Mobile Park. That's where the Mariners play. It used to be Safeco Field until this year. What did Safeco Field equal anyway? Safeco Field. And not as interesting. Yeah, it's tough to call that game. There's no numbers screaming out for the game. So just that one thing though, Royals 27, but if you use the rule for S, Royals is also 36. So it could go either way on that one. But it is 27 date numerology. So we'll see. All right, let's see if we can figure out these games that are later today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if we can nail these 5. Okay, Blue Jays and Red Sox. Red Sox off to a horrific start. They don't have a home win yet. I'm noticing that if they won today, they'd be 1-1 at home on the 11th, the old master number. I wonder how many days it is from the Super Bowl since the Red Sox last season was synced with the Super Bowl. Let's see. And the 114th World Series, right? Today's 11-4, kind of like 114. 67 days, the 19th prime. Nine weeks and 4 days. When you write out 94, it equals 147, like World Series. I'm thinking there's some symbolism in the Red Sox winning today, being the defending World Series champions, the 114th. Both teams would be 4-9. NFL's 49, Super Bowl's 49. Let's see here. Check this out later. Shit. All right. $637th game. You get the 174th win. Interesting that they could get the 147th loss, too. That's the World Series number. Let's see here. Red Sox. Red Sox. Oh, Blue Jays. Blue Jays is 49. There's our 49 connection. So both teams could be 4-9 with a Red Sox win. Toronto Blue Jays is also 59, so maybe the Red Sox could win 2 in a row here. This guy was a good pitcher last year. He's off to a rough start, but so are the Red Sox. I see that he is 44 and 53. It is interesting that today has the 54 date numerology. Funny how that lines up. But I don't know. The fact that they won the 114th World Series, I feel like they should win today. Unless it's just total humiliation ritual, because again, we did see that their next loss at home is 147, and that's what World Series equals. Boston Red Sox is 53. Major League's 45. Let's see how many days it is from his birthday. Born on the 44th day of the year. So it's, today's 57 days after his birthday then. The other World Series number. World Series is 57. Huh. Check his name, Gematria, real quick. Nathan. Got that 54 name Gematria too. All right, about the other pitcher. Aaron Sanchez. Sanchez is pitching well this year. It's a nice ERA, but it's early. Sanchez. 30 and 20. That doesn't go with our date. Sanchez. It's not the right. July 1st. His upcoming birthday is in 81 days. His last birthday was 284 days ago. This riddle is weird. It's weird because, again, it's 11/4. The Red Sox just won the 114th World Series. The humiliation would be to lose and get the 147th loss against this team, the World Series number. We also saw it's 57 days after the starting pitcher's birthday, which is the other World Series number. And he could get his 54th loss on a 54 date where baseball and his name equal 54. So all of that is there. But Blue Jays is 49. And I just feel like there's something to becoming 1-1 at home on the 11th. Getting that first home win on this date, being the defending champions from the 114th World Series. Let me see. All right, Sox. Two-game series, huh? That's weird too. Not a lot of two-game series in baseball. 2 games. 1, 2. Okay. They play the Orioles. Maybe there's a clue here with this Orioles series. Hmm. Get that one more time. See if there's any record they could get to that would make sense. Well, if they went on a big winning streak, they got a 4-game series against the Orioles. If they won tonight and won 4 in a row against the Orioles, they would be 8-9. Check the name, Sanchez. Hey, caller.
Yeah, Zach. See if you can find something with this game because they played a 3-game series, but they took a day off. They beat Chris Sale. The Blue Jays already won up on this series. They beat Chris Sale at home.
I thought I just looked at it and saw.
Yeah, and that's why it's so weird. I never known that a series skip a day and then they go back to the series.
So, well, I'm looking at this schedule right here. Is it wrong? It says they played Tuesday. I don't see a game yesterday, but then there's today's game.
Wow. So yeah, you got something wrong. They beat you got I don't know what you're looking at, but the Blue Jays beat Boston. Not yesterday, but the day before yesterday.
That's what I see. But then there was no game yesterday. Must have got postponed or something.
Right. No, it wasn't a postpone. It was just it was crazy. That's why I say, see, can you find something with maybe it's some that the numerology, maybe you're right. Maybe they trying to sync it up with the Super Bowl and the World Series because it's mighty strange that they took a day off. It wasn't on the card yesterday. The only the game got postponed was the Braves and the Rockies.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's just a 2-game series. I don't ever remember actually seeing a 2-game series in baseball.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be a 3-game series? Because they played the day before yesterday. They played Toronto, and then they stopped, and then they play in Toronto 2 more times.
Okay, so I'm looking at this schedule right here that I have up on the screen. It says they played Tuesday, April 9th. That was the first game of the series. They didn't play yesterday. They play today, and then it says tomorrow they're in Baltimore. So I'm seeing 2 games.
Oh, okay. So it's a 2-game series. So okay.
And that's weird. I'm not used to a 2-game series in baseball.
Right. So that's why I said maybe it's something with the date numerology that'll sync up for today.
Right. Here.
Maybe that's why they took a day off. I don't know. But and another thing with that Baltimore, great call, man. It's not over yet, but just to see that going 5-8, Baltimore, that's cool. That's another nice call, man. I really appreciate what you're doing, man.
Well, those are the types of things you have to look for in baseball, because when teams have an overlap number and you can see what the series will probably end at, I mean, that's what'll help you out. So.
Yeah, that's still amazing. It's still amazing to just do like you had the New York Knicks at 17 wins. Shit like that, you call that shit be amazing, bro. I'm just trying to give you props where props do.
Well, I appreciate it, but I know that you've only been around for so many months, but when you see how repetitive this stuff is, you just start to see like, okay, this is the way it works. So I appreciate it though, man. All right, thank you again.
But
all right, yeah, you have a good one. Yeah. I appreciate the compliment, but man, when you just start to see how repetitive all this stuff is, because I mean, you guys have to realize I've been doing this for over 5 years now. It's like, it doesn't feel amazing anymore. It just feels like, here we go again. Here we go again. So, but even still, I mean, still haven't figured out how to call every single game. Sometimes things just, it's like, well, why didn't that hit? But eventually we'll get there. So I said before, man, if you're like a carpenter for 5 years, you're probably pretty good at what you do. If you're a carpenter for 25 years, you're probably awesome. So we're at 5 years. Yeah, this series is really weird because, yeah, they're only playing a 2-game series. And I mean, it's probably happened before, but I can't think of a 2-game baseball series that I remember off the top of my head. So, well, hey, the Athletics are looking good now. They're looking good. They're looking good. All right. And again, Indians, Tigers, the overlap number's 33. Caller who just called in pointed out the Tigers played the Twins next. Twins is 85, so that'd be a good record to go into that series with. Cardinals are up on the Dodgers now. Funny the score is 4-3. That's the St. Louis number, 43. So, but that Cardinals pitcher was going for his 54th win. Yeah, this Blue Jays Red Sox game is funky. Man, the numbers, the way they line up are just, they're really making me scratch my head. But I do think this is synced up with the Super Bowl, and that's why they had this. Because, I mean, why would they skip yesterday? That's unheard of. 49 is the big NFL Super Bowl number, right? NFL's 49. Super Bowl's 49. Again, last year, if you guys weren't here last year in July before the World Series even came away, we said Red Sox could make the World Series. If they do, they'll win it in Game 5 because it's 99 days from the Super Bowl. And that's exactly what happened. Last year was the 99th NFL season. Speaking of which, does Toronto have the 99 connection? I know Maple Leafs does. Toronto Blue Jays has the 85 connection, National Football League. But yeah, this Blue Jays 49 thing, I mean, there are some other riddles on the board, so I'm not thrilled with this game, but I'm thinking the symbolism is with the Super Bowl. And, you know, 11 men on the field, becoming 1-1 on the 11th. You know what else? Today's the 101st day of the year, the 26th prime, like how, you know, Brady and Co. got the 26th Super Bowl for the AFC. It's amazing, though, how the let me look at Aaron Sanchez's stats again. What did he have going? I know that the Red Sox pitcher could get his 54th loss today, which worries me a little bit. He doesn't have the numbers, this guy. His numbers don't matter right now. Yeah, despite the concern with the Red Sox record and how, I mean, I'm thinking 49 is going to be the number here. I'm thinking that's what it's about. How many days was it one more time from the Super Bowl? And again, they did win the 114th World Series. So 67 days, the 19th prime, 9 weeks and 4 days. Yeah, I'm gonna, despite all the numbers on the board that make it a little uncomfortable, I'm thinking it's about this 49 in the Super Bowl. So that's my thought. All right, Mets and the Braves. Both teams could get a 6-1. That's the 18th prime. We have the 18 date numerology, big baseball number. Is this the first game of this series? Okay, yeah, first game of the series. New York 48 Mets. SunTrust Park. It's tough because they got the same record, so we're going to have to go to the pitchers here. Look at the head-to-head, too. All right. I see that the Mets pitcher, he could get his 27th loss today. We do have the 27-date numerology, MLB 27. So that's something he's got going. May 29th, he's 27 years old. It's 48 days to his upcoming birthday. 317 days from the last, 66th prime. Let's see this guy, Kevin Gossman. He's at 45 wins and 54 losses. Now, he could stay at 54 losses on the 54 day. Going for that 46th win. So, in terms of the pitcher's stats, got to give a little edge to the Braves. January 6th. So, today's 95 days after his birthday, his 96th day of his age. All right, let's check the gematria on these guys. Kevin Gossman. 74. Gossman. Steven Matz. Steven Matz. Make sure I didn't miss something with the gematria here. Braves. Whoops. Braves. It was 95 days after his birthday. The Braves pitcher going 95 days after his birthday. And again, the records seem to suggest he's the more likely guy to get a win here. The Braves playing Cumberland, Georgia. 101st day of the year. Could be a good sign for the home team. Georgia. All right, let's look one more time. Just how many games is this series? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-game series. Again, you always want to think about the gematria of the teams and what might make sense at the end of the series for the records. It's possible there could be a sweep in this series because New York has that 78 connection. One team could become 7-8 by the end of the series. So, like, if you saw the Braves win the first two, you might want to, start leaning like, okay, this could be a sweep. Make them 7-8. Yeah, I'd give the Braves the slight edge just because of the pitcher records. There wasn't a lot else to go off of. Their records are a mirror, so it makes it tough. But the pitchers' records would sync better with the date if Kevin Gossman got the win. And we also saw that it's 95 days after his birthday. Braves is 95. So... ...144th season. The word times 144 and 61. Braves could start the season 6-1 at home. Mets 58th season. Yeah, I'd give the edge to the Braves there. It's not a powerful riddle, but they got the better narrative. All right, the Cubs let me down yesterday. Let's see here. Is there any connection? Pirates 101, 101st day of the year. Pittsburgh Pirates 84. Oh, that's a trip. Pittsburgh Pirates has the connection to 114, like the Giants. It just makes me think of last year how Barry Bonds' jersey retirement was synced up with the 114th World Series. Pirates. Pirates have that 47 connection. The reflection Oh, Pirates do have the 74 connection as well. Maybe that's why the 47 riddle didn't hit, because maybe they're going for a 7-4 start here. Hold on, let me tell my mom I can't talk to her real quick. Hey, Mom, I'm doing my live daily thing. I'll call you back. All right, bye. All right, so Pirates does have that 74 connection. Should have thought about that more yesterday before declaring the Cubs. But that could be where this is going. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me also go back and just check the head-to-head for the Mets-Braves game. I forgot to do that. Do that for both these games here. All right. So the Mets are at the Braves. $172 and $246. Let me check if 247 is prime. Oh, it's not. All right, so 8. $383 is the 76 prime. That doesn't really go. All right, yeah, there's nothing great there. Let's see Pirates and Cubs. Where's the home? This is the home. 656 and 590. $657, $591. Let's see. Oh, not prime. Okay, check the pictures here. Musgrove's 39, and he could make the Cubs 3-9. So that's one thing. We'll check their records too. Cubs pitcher's not off to a good start. He's got those 47 connections, which are Pirates numbers. And Pirates is also 101. Today's the 101st day. Joe Musgrove, 18 and 21. Now, he comes in with 18 wins. We do have the 18-date numerology. There's a chance he could stay on 18, but when you come in with the number, it's never very strong of a riddle. I think Cubs has that gematria of 18 too. Yeah, it does. Okay. Then the other guy going is Kevin Gossman. Let's see his stats. Huh. His stats are 45 and 54. Comes in with the 54 losses on the 54 date. Wait a minute. Am I looking at the wrong picture? I'm looking at the wrong picture. Sorry, guys. I need Jose Quintana. Whoops. I was like, man, we already saw a picture with those stats. No wonder. All right, Jose Quintana. Hold on. 70 and 69. Make sure that doesn't go with anything here. I'm leaning towards the Pirates with the 74 riddle on the board and their starting pitcher having that 39 connection. Could make the Cubs 3-9. Let's see what's going on here. Pirates got the Nationals next. And the Cubs have who? Cubs got the. Oh, well, man, if the Cubs are 3-9 going into the Angels series, that kind of makes sense because Angel equals 39, like how Mike Trout is signed with that record contract through the age of 39. So there's actually some reason to believe that they could go into that series 3-9. I mean, that is the singular Angel, but again, we just saw the example with Mike Trout. And Anaheim does have the connection to 39 as well. So they'd be hosting the Anaheim Angels, possibly with a 3-9 record. And hold on, let's go back and see if there's something with the Nationals. Nationals has that 33 connection. 33-74, it's kind of a little bit more abstract than the thought, but just going in with a 7-4 record maybe. Washington Nationals. That game will be in DC. 74, the reflection of 47. I got to give the edge to the Pirates here. Again, Pirates is 74, Musgrove's 39. We see that the Cubs host Anaheim next. The 74-33 maybe, but DC is the land of 47. You have those numbers up on the board, the reflections. So I got to give the Pirates the edge there in that game. Padres, Diamondbacks. Now, I know that Arizona equals 42, so that's the first thing jumping. Arizona 42. San Diego might equal 43. Let me check it out. It does. San Diego's 43. The Padres could become 4-3 away. What's Diamondbacks equal? Diamondbacks is 42 as well, like Arizona. So you got two connections to 42 for a 4-2 home record. San Diego 43. Let's see here. They already played a game. The series starting today. Get day one of the series. 4-game series here. The only scare I would say for Arizona is just becoming 3-3 because San Diego Padres is 137, the 33rd prime. The whole Manny Machado ritual had a lot to do with 33. They do play on the 33rd parallel. I have good memories from my own life at the Arizona Diamondback Stadium. It was real cheap to go to their games when I was in college. Let's see. Arizona Diamondbacks. Okay, but I'm still digging the 4-2 and 4-3 more just because it connects to both teams. There's not some 86 connection that I'm missing. We also kind of want to think about what the end of the series record could be. Padres. Get it one more time. If the Diamondbacks won 3 in a row, they could get to 9-6. The reason that's important is because there's the strong relationship with 42 and 96. When you add the divisors of 42, they sum to 96. 11-7. Let's see the head-to-head here. $67 and $119. There's no way they're going to stay on 67 all season. All right, let's check out the pitchers here. Pedro Avila. Huh, how come I didn't bring it up? This guy new. Maybe this guy's never pitched before. Oh, yeah, I see he has no stats. This must be his debut. Let's see if we can find his birthday. Major league debut here, I think. Shoot, we might not be able to find. Or this looks like him right here. January 14th, interesting, and he's getting his debut on April 11th. This looks like it. January 14th, 97. So he just turned 22. Oops. Right here. 87 days, or his 88th day of his age. I don't think those were numbers that connected to anything. Let's see. Is today 67 days after his birthday? Is that what I just saw? Oh, no, 87. Okay. 87. 86. Pedro the Padre. All right, Pedro. Let's see. '18 date numerology. Well, I guess that is one thing, that his name is 86 and his team could become 8-6 today. So there's that. Zach Godley. That's a good name. Zach Godley. $67. Let's see his stats. Well, the one scare for him is he could potentially get his 27th loss on the 27 date. But yeah, I'm still digging the Diamondbacks riddle more here. Arizona 42, Diamondbacks 42. The starting pitcher getting his debut, unless the guy comes out and he's, but you just don't know what he's going to do. But San Diego 43. So the starting pitcher's name 86, San Diego 43. I just think the better riddle here is with the Diamondbacks. And I think there is a real possibility the Diamondbacks could start 9-6, just because 42, 96, strong relationship in numbers. Did I check how far it was from Zach Godley's birthday? The name's funny because the name Zachary means in remembrance of God. Zach Godley, huh? April 21st. Hold on. Let me answer this real quick. Hello? Hello? Just so you guys know, I fixed my computer so your number doesn't show up on the screen anymore. In case you guys have ever not called in because you were worried about your number being up there, that won't happen anymore. I took that off. I figured out how to undo that. All right, so the game's 10 days before his birthday. 10 has that relationship with 42. That means it's 355 days after his last birthday. But yeah, I like the 4-2 thing here. I like the 4-2 thing. Okay, Rockies and Giants. We know 49 is a big number in the Bay Area, right? You got the 49ers, you got the Warriors. Go figure the Giants start 4-9. All right. That means the Rockies could become 4-9 in the Bay Area. They won the golden anniversary of the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 50 in the Bay Area. Okay. When I'm done looking at all these late games, I'm going to go back and look at all the starting pitcher numbers too, just for one scan on that, to see if anything jumps with these pitcher numbers. Let's see. Who's at home again? Giants, right? $140-78 against the Rockies at home. So nothing there with the date. All right, let's run the Gematria real quick. Rockies is 44. The Rockies could become 4-4. So there's one number. But wait a minute. They could also become 3-5. Rockies is 35 in the more pure cipher. So that could go either way. Colorado Rockies. Giants. Giants is 25. Giants could become 2-5 at home, but the problem is it's also 34. So could go either way too. San Francisco Giants. We're going to have to look at the pictures here. John Gray. Hold on. John Gray. Nothing there. Gray. Nope. Jeff. Nothing jumping out about his name either. Let's check the stats. $69 and $72. Now, I think Giants equals 70. So he's going for his 70th career win. But we have the connection here with Colorado. How many losses was he at? Colorado. Rockies. Who did the gotta see who the Giants play next. Play the Nationals next. Any more games against the Rockies? All right, no big clues with him. How about John Gray? He comes in with 27 losses on the 27 date, going for that 33rd win. It's interesting that Colorado is favored in this game. Why would that be? They have a worse record. They're on the road. Their pitcher's hasn't done anything great. That is weird. Is this line wrong? It's got to be the wrong line. Oracle Park. Well, I'm not thrilled about this game. We saw how the numbers could really go either way in this one. Let's I want to go through and look at these pitchers' numbers real quick. All the starting pitchers for the late game. Number 29. It's not going to help. John Gray, jersey number 55. It's not going to help. 52. What's that? Pedro Villa. This might be unknown because he hasn't played yet. We don't know his jersey number yet. Oh, number 7. Number 7. Okay. I don't know if he'll wear that in the majors, though. $59. All right, 62. Jersey numbers aren't really jiving today with the games. Sometimes they do, though. In the postseason, they definitely do. Steve Matz. Osmond 45. Nathan Evaldi. Let's see. $17. It's looking good for the Athletics. Looking good for the Athletics. Okay. So again, the Blue Jays and Red Sox game is a really interesting riddle. If we were looking at the pitchers, and again, we think this game synced up with the Super Bowl. Last year, the Red Sox season was completely synced up with the Super Bowl. No doubt about it. Undeniable. We had it seen before it even happened. The Red Sox won the 114th World Series. The majority of the world right today is day 11/4, like 114. So I'm thinking today maybe we get a tribute to the Super Bowl. And Super Bowl equals 49, NFL 49. So I'm thinking maybe the Red Sox become 4-9 and become 1-1 at home on the 11th. 11 men on the football field. Today's 67 days after the Super Bowl, which is the 19th prime number. It's, the 2019 season. Let me check something real quick. I'm going to pull up all the ciphers here. I feel like the Patriots have some connection to 67 in one of the ciphers that I don't normally use. It's the septenary cipher, New England Patriots. This cipher is relevant to Super Bowl. Chaldean and septenary are relevant to Super Bowl history. Super Bowl equals 35, like how the first Super Bowl was won with 35 points. And football's also 35 in Chaldean. So I know we don't normally use these, but today being 67 days after the Super Bowl and this cipher having some Super Bowl relevance. I wonder what Tom Brady is in that cipher. 24-25. He had that in the 97 season. It was all about 25 for the Patriots. The 25-point comeback over the Falcons. Anyway, there is a little rhyme and reason to it being 67 days after the Super Bowl. Blue Jays also equals 49, so both teams could become 4-9 if the Red Sox won. The only thing was the stats. The stats just made me a little bit nervous. And again, I'll put these back up here just in case you weren't watching. So this guy, it's 57 days after his birthday. World Series equals 57. The only thing that worries me is he's at 53 losses. Now, Boston Red Sox equals 53. They just won Super Bowl 53. The only thing I'm worried about is today has 54 date numerology. The name Nathan Evaldi equals 54. Baseball's 54. He could get his 54th loss. But at the same time, he could get his 45th win. New England's 45. Major League's 45. He could stay on 53 losses for the Super Bowl symbolism. So So the big scare here is just picking up the 54th loss on the 54 date. Again, his name equals it. Baseball equals it. But even still, I'm going to say I like the Red Sox for the Super Bowl riddle. Plus Blue Jays is 49. Just like Super Bowl, just like NFL. And then 1-1 on the 11th, first home win. So the Aaron Sanchez guy, his stats were also kind of interesting. If I didn't know better about this Super Bowl thing, I might favor the Blue Jays today. Or wait, no. Never mind, take it back. It wasn't Aaron Sanchez. Some other game we were looking at. His stats didn't really seem to have a difference, make a difference. But I would still take the Red Sox, despite the one concern. I think this will be the Super Bowl tribute. So 4-9, Blue Jays 49. Mets and Braves, not a lot to go off of, but the Braves pitcher, I'll just put it up again. The Braves pitcher, his stats. He's at 45 wins and 54 losses. He could stay at 54 losses on a 54 day. Plus the game's 95 days after his birthday, and Braves equals 95. So, and Steven Matz, his stats seem to suggest that he could pick up an L today. He's at 26 losses. He could get his 27th today on the 27 date. So Braves pitcher can stay at 54. Mets pitcher can get number 27. So I'd give a slight edge to the Braves here. If the Braves did win, they would be 8-4. They're the Georgia team. Georgia equals 44. The divisors of 44. When you add them together, equal 84. I guess you could make that argument for the Mets playing in Georgia, but they're the Georgia team. Caller, can you mute your video? You're on.
Zach, this is Rick from Louisiana.
Hey, man.
Hey, just a suggestion, possibility for consideration of picking a team or maybe two, and then we, not just you, but we go deep on that team and follow it all season long, as opposed to going shallow over many. Let's go deep over few. And I would think over time the riddles would be more revealing, because I wanted to reach out to you after the Angels and the the Mariners. You know, that brought back memories. I've been with you going back to the Baltimore Colts, the Indianapolis Colts riddle there that year. And let's get real. This is an inexact science, but there definitely is a there. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you're making sense. Absolutely. I'm following you.
So I don't know, rather than, that's just what I'm thinking out loud. And I know I do some work. I don't do as extensive as you, but I think I'd rather see us go deeper on, let's say, the Mariners. You picked the Mariners. Last year, Derek had the Brewers, and he had excellent evidence for the Moon team. And they did go far, but not picking them to win. We don't need to win the Super Bowl. We don't need to call the big games. We just need to call these small games and capitalize.
Sure. Well, I think we're doing a pretty good job following the Mariners thoroughly. We've been able to get most of their games so far this year. So, in a way, we're kind of going deep with the Mariners, I would say.
Okay.
We've been on them, but I still think it's good to look at all these games. We're doing really well so far with baseball, overwhelmingly to the start of the season. So,
okay. All right. Well, no, I appreciate all you're doing. I just wanted to throw that out there to the community.
Okay, but yeah, I say I do like your thought, and I'm going to stay on the Mariners all year and really follow their narrative. We're going to run into games like today with the Mariners where it's like, well, 12-2 was the symbolism. We get that, but 12-3, 13-2, you kind of lose the symbolism there. So today's game's kind of just a crapshoot. But we'll be able to pick up other games and see the riddles. For example, tomorrow Seattle's going to – did you hear what I was saying about how Seattle's starting the season against –
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and again, I know there's no such thing as a lock city, or we hope and pray there is, but when they played the Angels, man, that was the one that blew the parlay for most of us. And I think we all would have capitalized. So you know what I mean? And here's the thing. I'm not so sure that whomever the controllers, powers that want to be are, this thing is, I mean, we got to tie it to the organic matrix. It can't be like, there's some kind of person behind the room saying, all right, we see this group out here. Let's screw them tonight on the Mariners. I don't think that happens. Do you?
Well, I don't know. So, some of the games is just like, well, how in the world did that go that way? But
Right.
I mean, there's definitely people that would want to sabotage any people digging into this and figuring it out. So,
all right. Well, I just wanted to toss that out, and again, keep it up, because until the time when I can be a little bit more consistent, I am revealing this and dropping hints and breadcrumbs out there, but I'm not, I can't go out there convincingly at this point in time. I can do it personally, man. I could show and I do recommend everybody who's watching you, do your personal numbers, do your parents' personal numbers, birthdays, and I think you're going to start to see some stuff and say, okay, there's more than there here. But again, we haven't perfected. Well, we haven't gotten it to the point where we can unequivocally approach this and show it to the masses.
Well, here's what I can say in total confidence. Nobody's called more sports championships in the last 5 years, than I have, and I don't think anybody's ever called that many sports championships in a lifetime. So, right. I mean, we already have a lot to show. I would say anybody who's doubting this work at this point is just a fool. So, I think we can unequivocally say that. But yeah, there's still a lot of room for improvement. So,
all right. Well, listen, get back to it, man. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, man.
Okay, bye.
See you. But yeah, there's absolutely still a lot of room for improvement. When we're acing almost every single game, be something else. So, anyhow, for today's games, I'm thinking the 4-9 thing for the Red Sox is looking good. One concern is just the pitcher picking up the 54th loss on the 54 date, but I think the Super Bowl tribute's coming. Also, I just talked about how the Red Sox paid tribute to the death of that writer for their team, Nick Cafardo. His name equals 49 as well. In case you missed me talk about that, let me pull that up real quick. They just paid tribute on April 9th at the game to this writer for the Red Sox, Nick Cafardo, whose name is 49. Paid tribute on 4-9, so, maybe that's a sign they're starting 4-9 as well. Notice his name was perfect with Boston and Red Sox. Anyway. Okay, Red Sox 4-9. Blue Jays also equals 49. Don't forget that. Braves Mets, there's not a lot to go off of, but based on the starting pitchers, you got to lean the Braves way. The Braves pitcher's record would make more sense with the win. The Mets pitcher, his record would make more sense with the loss. Pirates equals 74. We see the Cubs are hosting the Angels next. Anaheim equals 39. Angel, the singular, equals 39. Mike Trout signed through the age of 39. So I think that could be a sign that the Cubs are destined for 3-9 tonight. Pirates 7-4. Padres and Diamondbacks. We see that the Padres have a new pitcher. He's making his major league debut. His name equals 86. So do the Padres become 8-6 tonight? If they do, they become 4-3 away. San Diego equals 43. Diamondbacks with a win tonight become 4-2 at home. Arizona equals 42. Diamondbacks 42. The only thing I would say that's concerning here is San Diego Padres equals 137, the 33rd prime. Diamondbacks could become 3-3 on the 33rd parallel. But again, Arizona and Diamondbacks 4-2. Starting pitcher 86, San Diego 43. Got to go with the Diamondbacks. Stronger Riddle. Rockies and Giants. There wasn't really anything to write home about this game. Rockies equals 35 and 44. You could go either way with that. Giants equals 25 and 34. You can go either way with that. Let's see. We got a caller from Seattle. What's up, caller?
Hey, what's up, man? This is Jay from Seattle. Hey, man, I'm going to blow your mind really quick. So this Rockies-Giants game is a total tribute to the Aurora, Colorado shooting. The Giants came from New York, where they used to be called the New York Gothams, which reminds you of Batman, right?
I didn't know that.
Aurora, Colorado shooting the anniversary date is 101 days from today, the 101st day of the year.
Huh.
COL and CR, the abbreviations that Colorado uses, have overlap of 12 in their most pure cipher, and it was 12 dead in that shooting.
Okay.
And then James Holmes and the last name of the, I can't pronounce it, Samar Giza, something like that.
What's
they have overlap of 39
what's
in
that?
most pure cipher.
Wait, James Egan Holmes is the shooter. What's this other name?
James Holmes, and then Samar Giza, or whatever that guy's name is, the pitcher.
Oh, the pitcher going
the
tonight.
Pitcher from the
Jeff Sardine can. Yeah, I don't know how to say his name either.
Yeah. Well, his last name and James Holmes have overlap of 39 in the most pure, and you see Colorado's 3-9.
Uh-huh.
And you also see that the odds are boosted in their favor. So I'm guessing it's some sort of ritual tribute.
Okay, so you're thinking the Rockies are going to become 4-9 then? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying this game today is definitely some sort of ritual tribute because of the numerical connections. And you got the Gothams today, Gotham, Batman.
Yeah, that is a trip. That is really interesting. I'm just thinking, why would they do the tribute today? Because it's been all these years later. But I mean, it could be that way. We know how news and sports are synced up. If it was a tribute to the shooting, I would think that the Rockies would win because shooting equals 44. They could become 4-4. But yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you see the 3-9 and then the 3-9 ATS. You see the Giants are 101 on the money line, 101 days on the 101st day of the year, 101 days from the anniversary of the shooting.
Right.
I mean, it's like, really?
Huh? Yeah, that's really weird. Well, good observation. I appreciate it. But yeah, it still makes it dicey on who's going to win that game.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet on it. So.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man. Cheers.
All right, take care. Yeah, I'd say out of the late games, this one's the hardest one to call. I just wonder if, 49 having that strong connection in the Bay Area, if the Rockies could win this first game of this series and become 4-9. Because the home and away records can go both ways, and there was no great clue with the pitchers. It's just a tough one. So probably chill on that game. I'd go for the Padres, the Pirates, the Braves, the Red Sox. So I was betting on these late games, and it looks like we're gonna be. Orioles are coming back. It's not over till it's over, but. If Athletics do pull it out, our theory about 5-8 by the end of the series will be true. Because again, Baltimore and Oakland are both 58. So, there's other games. Again, Indians are going for that overlap number. Tigers and Cleveland 33. And that if the Tigers do lose, they'll be 8-5 going into the Twins series. Twins 85. The thing for the Dodgers and the Cardinals was this 43 thing because St. Louis is 43, but there was something for the Cardinals pitcher. I think the Cardinals pitcher was going for maybe his 54th win today, something like that. Okay, so let's look at the NHL games today. Take a look at NHL here. We got 3 playoff games. Let's again look at what happened yesterday. Why is this not working? Okay, there we go. All right, so again, the Lightning ended up picking up their 17th loss of the season on the 17 date instead of the Blue Jackets picking up their 17th playoff loss. Islanders got it done. Jets got the 17th playoff loss. Stars beat the Predators. So we had 1, 2, 3. We had road teams go 3-2 yesterday. So the majority of road teams won. Something to keep in mind today. Remember the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs have a really interesting connection in terms of number of playoff wins. Whoever wins the Stanley Cup has to win 16 games in the playoffs. If is it 269? I think it's the Maple Leafs. If the Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup, they'd get their 269th playoff win, which again is the 57th prime, the number related to championships. And Stanley even has that Gematria 57. So the thing about the Bruins was if the Bruins won the Stanley Cup, they'd get 322 wins all time, which is always an interesting number, but it doesn't exactly go with the Stanley Cup, at least not that I'm aware of. Goes with the NBA Finals. The NBA Finals is 322 in Jewish Gematria. But anyhow, the Maple Leafs, when we looked at that yesterday, when we looked at what everybody's win record could be if they won the Stanley Cup, it was the Maple Leafs that had the most interesting outcome. That doesn't mean they have to win today, though. So again, today's date, 54-27-18. Let's look at what these teams' history is against each other. We'll use M cubed because then we'll be able to get the playoff. Be able to get the playoff numbers. Toronto versus Boston. 37-38-1 in the playoffs? Huh. That's weird that they have a tie. That must have been like way back in the day. Can you have a tie in the playoffs? Okay. But Boston's at home tonight. 191 wins, 130 losses. I think today's the 191st day of the NHL season. So maybe Boston could stay on 191. And again, let's look at how they finished the season. So Boston's at 49 wins and 24 losses on the season. Toronto at 46-28. So those numbers don't go with today's. Wait. Yeah, those numbers don't go with today's date. So we don't have a great clue there. Let me pull up my post. Remember to use this post. I linked it in the description of yesterday's video so you can see what the starting win-loss records were for each team before the playoffs began. This is linked in the description of yesterday's live stream video. So you'll be able to go back and add the wins and losses from this year's playoff teams to figure out what the current record was, just like we did at the beginning of the college basketball tournament. So the Bruins, 306 and 315. Their next win's the 307th, which is the 63rd prime. We got used to that number with the Super Bowl. Toronto's at 277 losses, the 59th prime. Again, it's Toronto's 101st season, the 101st Stanley Cup. And we think we figured out the Stanley Cup date, possibly May 27th, based on looking at the last 3 years. That'll be a date with 26 numerology, 101 to 26 prime. The other thing I'm thinking about Toronto is if they did win the Stanley Cup, it would be their 14th, and they would end the streak of Canada not winning. You know, they're on that long drought going back to 93. Okay. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of numbers for today's game jiving with what could be. Bruins does equal 29. They don't have to get that today, though. Their 29th loss of the season will likely come against the Bruins in this playoff series. Bruins. So Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs is 54. We got the 54 date. Yeah, because these teams have played in so many playoff games, it's hard to peg what they might do today. It is the 101st day of the year. That's a thought. 101st day of the year, 101st Stanley Cup. Toronto's 101st season. It's hard in a playoff series if you don't have some standout number. Like yesterday, the number we followed was 17. What was their playoff record head-to-head? 37, 38, and 1. All right. We might not be able to make a call on this first game. The only clue I could go off of is maybe because it's the 101st day of the year and the Maple Leafs 101st season could give them a little edge. Oh, here's another thing we can look at real quick. See how they did against Boston this year. 4 games. Boston did well against them. They were 1-3 against Boston. And let's see. They lost both at Boston. The last time they won was on the 26th of November. That's interesting because, again, 101, the 26th prime. Just see how many days it was from that game. $136 days or a span of 137, the 33rd prime. Yeah. All right, let's see if we can figure out anything with the Hurricanes and Capitals. Again, playoff series are always tough because the wins don't necessarily have to come on any given day. It's about who you got to know the team that's more likely to win the series. And I'm thinking the Maple Leafs do have a good, strong chance to win the series and represent the Stanley Cup as well. So, Hurricanes, Capitals. Let's see here. Whoops. All right, so Carolina, 98, 62, and 14 all time. Washington is at home, right? Yeah. 53, 30, and 4. So Washington could get their 54th win today on a 54 date. That's a good sign. And Capitals might even Capitals has the 54 connection too. So I'm already digging the Capitals narrative. They can get the 54th win at home today. That's a nice alignment right there. They've never met in the playoffs, but that's a good sign. 54th win, 54 date numerology, Capitals 54. So that looks good. And their playoff records. Carolina is at 59 wins in the playoffs. They might not get a win in Washington because Washington's 59. So Washington will play the first 2 games at home, probably win both those games and keep them at 59. Okay. And let me just see if any of these other numbers connect. Hurricanes 135. It's best of 4. Hurricanes. Okay, but I'm digging the Capitals tonight. Let me go back and look at the Maple Leafs and Bruins one more time in case there was something I overlooked there. No, I don't see the riddle for that game. Okay, Avalanche and Flames. Calgary Flames are another interesting team this year. Let's see. Going for their 100th playoff win. Colorado Avalanche. Okay. Hold on, I need to go back and look at one other thing just for tonight's game. The one game we just made a call on, I just want to double check something. Gotta look at all this stuff. Capitals can get their 49th win of the season to start the playoffs. Washington's 49 and 50. I think the Capitals are going to win their first 2 games in Washington. There is one thing to consider about the Capitals tonight. If they did lose, they would get their 27th loss, and Capitals is also 27. It's also a 27 day. But again, I still think the record's better for the Capitals. They're going for that 54th win at home against this team. So that's better. All right. Avalanche and Flames. I think Calgary equals 31. Let me check that. Yeah, Calgary is 31. Colorado could get their 31st loss against. Doesn't have to come today, but Calgary, they have a 30. Oops. Thanks. If Colorado loses the series, which they should, Flames are one of the better teams in the NHL. They'll get 34 losses. They'll finish with 34 losses. Flames 34. So Calgary looks good to win this series. Let's see. Oops. NHL teams. Calgary Flames. Series records. Colorado Avalanche. Their next loss to the Avalanche is 67. They both have that number. Makes me think Colorado probably wins at least 1 game in this series. I'm saying I expect Colorado to win at least one game in the series. Maybe they just win one because Calgary's 67 and Avalanche is 67. Calgary's next loss in the series is the 67th. They're at 43 home wins. Colorado's 43. I think Avalanche and Calgary. Yeah, Avalanche and Calgary are both 31. They've never met in the playoffs. Calgary is a big favorite tonight. I mean, they likely win, but the thing is, there's no clear numbers to go off of for tonight's game in terms of the overall wins and losses in the season. So, to me, the best riddle tonight is with the 54 date, the Capitals getting that 54th win over the Hurricanes to start off the series. And again, that would give the Hurricanes. Wait. Give it the Hurricanes. Hold on, where was it at? Oops. Okay. Again, 54th home win. I think that is the most likely outcome. Yeah, yeah. I do think that's the most likely outcome. The only concern, though, is that Capitals is also 27, and it is a 27 date, and they could get their 27th loss of the season. But I'm thinking the head-to-head record is a better indicator. And again, that would keep Carolina at 59 wins in Washington tonight, and Washington's 59 as well. So that's why I prefer that narrative. Okay, so it's hard to get a read in the Maple Leafs, Bruins, and Avalanche Flames game. There's nothing popping out. I think the most likely team to win on the road tonight is the Maple Leafs, in light of it being their 101st season, the 101st day of the year. So if I want to take a risk, I might just take the Maple Leafs to cover the spread. That way you can win multiple ways. They're the underdog. I suspect the Flames will probably I imagine this series will probably be like 4-1. That actually makes a lot of sense because Calgary's 41 too, isn't it? Yeah. I have a feeling they get one loss and win the series 4-1 there, Calgary. I don't know. The Capitals aren't a great payout. I do think they'll win, but because of the one risk with the 27, because I'm just thinking about yesterday what happened. You know, both of these teams had a 17 on the board. The Lightning could get their 17th loss of the season on the 17 date. The Blue Jackets could get their 17th playoff loss. So we followed the 17s yesterday. They did hit, but you know, Winnipeg got their 17th playoff loss, but the 17s could have gone either way in this game. So starting to think about that more here with the Capitals. All right. Again, just to review MLB. Red Sox seem to have a Super Bowl riddle. Super Bowl's 49. NFL's 49. Blue Jays is 49. They just did the tribute on April 9th to Nick Cafardo, the writer for the team who died, whose name equals 49. I am thinking the Red Sox become 4-9. The only threat is that Nathan Eovaldi, who's at 53 career losses, the big Super Bowl number, he has a chance to pick up his 54th loss on the 54-day. But because this is a Super Bowl tribute, it could make sense for him to stay at 53. So I favor the Red Sox here. Both teams would be 4-9. Again, Blue Jays is 49. Mets and Braves, it's a tight one. But looking at the two pitchers, it makes more sense based on the starting pitchers for the Braves to get the win. Based on the date numerology, Braves also equals 95, and it's 95 days after Kevin Gossman's birthday, the pitcher for the Braves. So I give the Braves the edge there. I think the Pirates are going to pick up the road win tonight against the Cubs. Pirates equals 74. The Cubs begin their next series tomorrow against Anaheim. Anaheim equals 39. Angel equals 39. Mike Trout's locked up through the age of 39. Padres and Diamondbacks. Arizona equals 42. Diamondbacks equals 42. San Diego equals 43. The starting pitcher for the Padres, it's his first major league game, Pedro Avila. His name equals 86. With the Padres lost, they're 8-6. So I do like the Diamondbacks. The only thing that I could say that could possibly go against the Diamondbacks is that San Diego Padres is 137, the 33rd prime. Diamondbacks play on the 33rd parallel. But still, both Arizona and Diamondbacks, both names sum to 42. San Diego 43. So I do like the Diamondbacks here. And again, that starting picture, 86. Rockies, Giants. We couldn't really dig up anything that that stood out for this game. I just find it weird that the Rockies are the favorite, having a worse record, a pitcher with a worse ERA, and being on the road. I can't make sense of that line. So that looks like a betting trap to me. It's like a big juicy worm and we're fish, but there's something up with 49 in the Bay Area, as we know. The 49ers, the Warriors. So I would just lay off that game. I'd go Diamondbacks, Pirates, Braves, Red Sox. Those are and just understand, I mean, there was no smash home runs in the read today. It wasn't like Mariners becoming 12-2 yesterday. There wasn't anything like that, but this is the way the games are leaning as far as I can see. And NHL, I don't know about NHL today. One more time. More road teams won yesterday than home teams. 3-2 were the road teams yesterday. If one road team won today, road and home would start the opening day of the NHL playoffs. They'd be 4-4. They'd be perfectly even. I think if there's any road team to win today, the most likely one is the Maple Leafs. Again, it's the 101st day of the year, 101st Stanley Cup. Maple Leafs have a great riddle. They don't have to win today, though. I mean, it's a series, best of 7. So I might be inclined to take them with the points, just going with the 101 thing. But there wasn't any other great indicators to go off of. Capitals can get the 54th series win today. On date with 54 numerology, Capitals equals 54. But again, there's a little scare there. It's also a 27 date numerology. Capitals equals 27. They could get their 27th loss of the season. So there's a risk. And I do think the Flames are going to beat the Avalanche 4-1. That's my prediction for this series. So that means, Flames are definitely more likely to win, but they're not a great payout. And you just never know. Maybe they could lose the first game and win 4 straight, but There was no date numerology reads with either of these two games. The date numerology is here with this game, but it could go either way is the trick. So I think we will leave it there for today. Now that baseball season's getting underway and we only have a few playoff games to do each day, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a poll, and I'm going to say, would you guys like me to start these live streams at 9 a.m. Pacific instead of 10 a.m. Pacific? So start an hour earlier. I'm going to put up that poll and see what you guys think. The reason to do that would be because now that we're focusing on baseball, baseball starts early, and it just gives us more time to look at these games before they begin. So I'm going to put up that poll, and based on what you guys vote, we could be starting as soon as 9 a.m. tomorrow. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Be back tomorrow, same time. Let me Tiger's having a nice day. That's good. So M's have homered in 15 straight games. 47, the 15th prime. Seattle from the 47th parallel. That's what I make out of that. I'll do a Dale Earnhardt video. All right, I'll do a post today. I'll do a post and maybe even a video today. So yeah, I'll work on that. But yeah, let's leave it there for now. Please do vote in that poll so I know what you guys think. Let's wrap it up. Until next time, Truth Seeker.